Kim Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise in support of this bill today as the MP for Liverpool Riverside, as a very proud Scouser and as the chair of the APPG on the miscarriage of justice, because as we all know, this Hillsborough stands as one of the greatest miscarriages of justice this country has ever seen. This bill is about a simple, powerful idea: truth and justice, two words that should underpin our systems of power. But from Hillsborough to Orgreave to the Manchester Arena tragedy, Shrewsbury 24, Grenfell, Windrush, we know that too often this simply isn't the case. For decades, working-class communities and the families who have lost loved ones have had to fight tooth and nail against institutions that were meant to protect them, only to find those same institutions closing ranks, to find themselves facing delay, denial and deceit. This bill and the Hillsborough Law it seeks to deliver is about ending the cycle once and for all. But let's be honest, that progress didn't happen by chance. It's down to tireless efforts of families and campaigners who refused to give up. And I pay tribute to those families and campaigners who were in the gallery, but also to those who fought very hard, who are no longer with us. They have kept this issue alive when others tried to move on and bury it. But I also want to say thanks and a tribute to my good friends, the member for West Derby and Garston, Steve Rotherham and Andy Burnham, for the work that they've done on bringing this bill so far. But we know that this bill, even with the best of intentions, may face obstacles. We've already heard about the possibility of being watering down in the other place. We all know how things work in Westminster, and while it's welcome that the government have brought it forward, we're also being warned that it might be watered down. Its bite blunted and its meaning diluted. But it is on this House, on all of us here today, to ensure that we fight back against that. On that shocking day in 1989, 97 innocent people were unlawfully killed. But we must recognise the injustice didn't end that day. The real scandal began in the days, the months and the years that followed, when the machinery of the state turned on the victims and the families. Police statements were altered. Blatant lies were printed on the front pages, particularly by the Scum newspaper. Families were smeared and forced to relive the trauma for decades just to prove what they already knew, that their loved ones were not to blame. That is why we need a Hillsborough Law, a statutory duty of candour on all public officials, so that truth is not optional and cover-ups are impossible. Because if that duty had existed in 1989, those families might not have had to wait 36 years for justice. If that duty had existed, perhaps we would not have seen the same playbook used again at Grenfell, Orgreave, with infected blood scandal, the post office Windrush, and so many more that we've heard in this chamber this afternoon. We owe it to those families and to every family who has suffered injustice at the hands of the state to make sure it never happens again. And that's why I also want to take this opportunity to recognise the Camelard workers who were unjustly imprisoned in 1984 for standing up for their rights and whose struggle remains a stain on our history and who are yet to receive justice. My good friend, the former member for Birkenhead, is a staunch leader in this campaign, and I'd like to thank him for his incredible work, because their case, like Hillsborough, shows exactly why accountability in public office matters, because when the state closes ranks, it's ordinary people who pay the price. This bill must establish a legal duty of candour on public officials, a duty to tell the truth, to cooperate fully with investigations and inquiries, and to act in the public interest, not self-interest. It must ensure parity of legal funding for bereaved families, because justice should never depend on your postcode or your pay packet. It must deliver real accountability with real consequences for those who lie, mislead or obstruct justice, because if we have learned anything from Hillsborough, it's that words without consequences are meaningless. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm forever honoured to represent my home in this House, a city that has lived and breathed this fight for more than 3 decades, a city that knows what institutional failure looks like and what courage, solidarity and persistence can achieve in the face of it. For the people of Liverpool, the fight for justice has never been abstract. It is deeply personal, born out of tragedy, betrayal and unbreakable demand for truth. We are a proud city, proud of our history, our culture and above all our sense of solidarity. The campaign for justice after Hillsborough helped shape our modern identity, a fierce refusal to be silenced, a stubborn loyalty to the truth and an unshakable belief in collective action. Liverpool has shown this country what dignity looks like in the pursuit of truth. Now it's time this country to show Liverpool that has learned the lessons. I urge colleagues from across the House to support this bill, support with strength and integrity the people of Liverpool across the UK expect from us, and fight for every detail but until it's over the line and passed into legislation. Let's make the truth and justice and accountable not just pass a word today but enshrined in Hillsborough law forever.